أما والله إن الظلم لوم وما زال المسيء هو الظلوم إلى ديان يوم الدين نمضي وعند الله تجتمع الخصوم.
الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على من اجتبى وآله وصحبه ومن والاه. وبعد, here sitting in this masjid, the Masjid Tawfiq, with fellow brothers of ours, to remind for Allah's sake the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed upon us. The number of blessings that we see here in the city, Toronto, that Allah has granted us the opportunity to learn with one another for His sake. To come to in the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach and to share benefits for His sake, inshallah. And by the blessings of Allah that we are continuous upon that. And people attest to that. يشهد ذلك القاسي والداني. Those who are far and those who are near, when they hear about the classes that are ongoing, they attest to the continuation of this goodness that was started without being extreme and without being lenient, watered down, and a da'wah that is not controversial, that is open to all by the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as we pursue this path, we find obstacles, we find opponents, we find even people that make counter with words of jealousy and attack. And with that, this is from the trials of da'wah. That person, when he's pursuing this path, he's going to find obstacles of opponents, saying words out of jealousy, out of envy. Maybe they haven't been granted such opportunities. Or maybe their masajid are empty from classes. So you find that they may come out and attack a particular da'wah or a place that is ongoing with classes, perhaps most of the days of the week, just because their masjid is almost empty of classes. Void, vacant. You come, you perhaps assume that this is not a Salafi masjid as they refer to as, but really Salafiyya taduru ma'al ilm. It rotates with knowledge. You should see it, that is clear, as manifest, that knowledge is there. It's not just something on the media that people display that we're people of knowledge, yet when you come to their masajid, you see nothing of that sort. So maybe envy may sprout out from this angle. So alhamdulillah, by the blessing of Allah, that we respond with words of truth. We respond to words of truth, knowing that al-bayan in the waqti, responding with clarity, and responding also retaliate with allati hiya ahsan, with that which is better. There's barakah in it. Much khair comes out. So it here has reached me that the da'i by the name Abdulilah Lahmami, waffaqahu Allah, may Allah grant him success, he uttered words that requires an instant response. I see that it requires an instant response because in reality he has only harmed himself with his words. And he has only harmed those who he's standing as a representative for their da'wah, S-pubs and other than them. He's only harming the image. And we're going to clarify that. So this is nushun lah, ad-deenu nasiha, religion is sincere advice. So I say this out of sincere advice for him, that he ponders over what I'm going to say to him. Wallahi nushan lillah. I say it sincerely that he ponders over what I'm going to say, takes it in, and remember that there will be a day we stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what has become a habit, that we see that the likes of Abdulilah and his companions of S-pubs, whenever they fall short in their path of da'wah, they lose followers, people don't attend their classes as they expected, they come out and attack us. They come out and blame so-called, they say, the Hajuris. They blame and attack Sheikh Yahya al-Hajuri when they lose numbers, when they are lost of that which they may expect of a big crowd in their classes. This is what we notice from them. It's unfortunate. We say to them, blame yourselves. أقلوا عليهم من اللوم لا أبا لأبيكم أو سدوا المكان الذي سدوا. For really, there's a reason why there's people attracted to a certain da'wah. They are coming to a place where they hear people memorizing a hadith, memorizing benefits, writing it down, preserving it, and being continuous upon it. It's not the blame that they are teaching, that you come out and you criticize and you say that they are the cause. But you should respond by saying the problem is found within ourselves. The problem is found within yourselves. We should not be blamed that your masjid doesn't have that much numbers for the classes. We should not be blamed that when it reaches to an extent of desperation, you have to take a picture of the Jum'ah congregation to show that you have some people following you. This is it's not our fault. This is perhaps bima kasabat aydikum, due to what your hands have earned. And each person takes himself to account. So to blame us for that you have a losing followers, or you're not getting enough hits as you used to, it's not the ilaj, that's not the solution. So this is something that is common, and we're going to inshallah respond shortly with this audio clip, and we'll allow the brother to play, and we'll respond to it shortly inshallah. Hold on.
The question is, if there's brothers in our community who differ from you guys and maybe follow, I'll just give an example, like Yahya al-Hajuri or whatnot, they claim to be Salafis. How do you interact with them? Do you still, they're upon sunnah, so they say, do you still befriend them, or do you cut them off?
The fact that these questions arise in their ranks, it shows that they're on search for someone else. They're not satisfied. You haven't given them enough. They're on search for others that you warn from. They're asking. They want to come out and take knowledge from people that are providing it. And these are the people that you're warning from. You call them the people that are obsessed with a particular individual. We're going to clarify that you are the ones who are really obsessed with a particular mashaykh. And this question, that those who are claiming to be Salafis, alhamdulillah, we haven't opposed any principles of Salafiyah. And we challenged them up until today to prove us that we oppose one of the fundamentals of Salafiyah. They haven't brought that forth. So to bring out that and say that we're claiming to be Salafis, it's not a claim. We brought it out showing you that we are those who follow the manhaj of Salaf. We've clarified that in PDFs. All of you attested, you took us out of Salafiyah because we disagree with a particular sheikh. That's the end result. Or else we were those who were contacting one another. You were praising us and we were praising you, and we were removed out of Salafiyah because we disagreed with your sheikh. This is the reality. We were attacked upon that basis. Hold on.
From the signs of the innovators is they speak ill of the people of narrations. So those who spoke ill of the ulama, the likes of Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Ubaid and other than them, then they are from the innovators. That's clear, without doubt. So do not be deceived by the length of their beard, or they're raising their trousers and claiming. Everybody claims. كل يدعي وصلا بليلى وليلى لا تقرهم بذلك. Everybody claims that Layla is theirs, and Layla says, I don't belong to any one of you. So it is one thing to claim something, but in reality, are you upon the Sunnah? In reality, how are you going to be upon Sunnah?
Here you notice, Brother Abdulilah Waffaqahullah, may Allah guide us and him, he begins with the topic of reviling the people of narrations, or reviling the scholars. And you find that this is a disguise. He's throwing ashes in the eyes of the people. This is a common method and technique of asbabs, that they use this method of saying that we're attacking the people of narrations. We're attacking Ahlul Sunnah. And then when you look back, you say, well, who's referred to it? Oh, you're disagreeing with us, the Maktaba, you're attacking the Maktaba, you're attacking Ahlul Sunnah. Since when has the people of narration been restricted to Maktabat al-Salafiyah? Yani hajjarta wasi'an, as it comes in the narration. You have restricted that which is expansive. And also, when you disagree with them and with their mashayikh, and you clarify to them, I honestly disagree with your shaykh. I see that he fell into error. They may respond to you and say that, you're attacking our mashayikh. You're reviling the Ahl al-Ilm. You're attacking the scholars. And goes on, the titles. In reality, it is just tamassuk bi usul al-salaf. If we were to say before, qadiman, before all this, the rising of this fitna, that when we find in the books that Imam Ahmed made an error in a particular affair, or we say Imam Shafi'i made an error in a particular affair, why is it so difficult for us to say that you're a sheikh, whether it be Sheikh Rabi' or Sheikh Ubaid or your Sheikh Abdullah Bukhari, fell into error? So this is the affair, and I'll give you an example. One of their speakers once messaged me and tried to impose upon me opinion of Sheikh Rabi'. And I responded by saying, Yani laysa bin nabi, he's not a prophet. So then he came and he wrote a long message, and he said, you are belittling this scholar. SubhanAllah. I told you a fact, it's a true evident fact that he's not a prophet. And we say, if we said this about those who are greater and far greater than Sheikh Rabi', then why is it so hard to accept when we say it for Sheikh Rabi'? This shows you their sick fanaticism and partisanship to this scholar. They're attached to his personality. The moment you utter words of truth, that may be a reason that a person rejects his statements and don't accept it blindly, they say you're attacking the scholar. This is the truth of the matter. So they usually disguise under this title, the people of narrations have been reviled. The people, it's like how we find on the news, there's a big panic, something huge is happening, and you come and you see just perhaps 3 people in a building complaining. So this is what is the affair. It's they're panicking under a broad title saying that people of narrations have been attacked. And then when you look what he's saying, he mentions the frequent mashayikh that they usually mention, Sheikh Ubaid, Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Abdullah Bukhari. And before they used to mention Sheikh Muhammad Hadi, Sheikh Fulan, but we find in the list and the circles getting smaller and smaller for some reason. يُخْرِبُونَ بُيُوتَهُمْ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ. They're destroying their own da'wah with their own hands. They're throwing people off the bandwagon who used to be upon it. The same mashayikh that they used to boast, that they're reviling this sheikh, they're reviling that sheikh. Now there are those posting refutation of that sheikh. It's a sad scenario. This is the truth. Why have you not mentioned the one that used to say Sheikh Muhammad Hadi, Sheikh Fulan? Why is it only 3 now? The circle is getting smaller. Soon I fear it's going to be left only one particular sheikh, and everyone else going to be not mentioned along with them. So we allow the brother to continue, inshallah. Hold on.
Without being with the ulama, you're reviling Ahl al-Ilm, reviling if we were to look in the detail of the reality of these individuals who are blind followers of Hajuri.
Here, Abdulilah says, how can you be upon the sunnah if you're not with the ulama? And here he's already given much examples who these ulama are. He's restricted it, and many of his examples, with Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Abdullah Bukhari, and Sheikh Ubaid. And how can we be upon the sunnah if we're not with these ulama? This is that he is limited being upon the sunnah through being those who are followers of these ulama and attached to the personality. So this is the da'wah. Their da'wah is based upon da'wah ila al-ashkhas. وَتَقْدِيس al-mashayikh. Calling to the personality. Attaching people to be so obsessed with these mashayikh. I don't even think they do this with the likes of Fawzan and the greats of the mashayikh. They don't call to the people to be so attached to people that are far greater and far virtuous. So this is from their signs. Their da'wah is upon not attaching people to the kitab and the sunnah and the fahm as-salaf as-salih so much, but is morally upon this. You can't be fried on a Friday ceremony. Their Friday khutbahs, many of it, contains the name of Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Fulan. SubhanAllah, the person would assume that you would call and mention those who are maybe more superior on a Friday khutbah, and even those who are from the Salaf Salih, and maybe mention as well those who followed in our time. So a person, you find that they're doing this to certain agendas, because they find that these particular mashayikh support them in their ways and defend them in the face of those who clarify their errors. So this is the hidden agenda behind it. It's all a game.
Then you look at the situation of what Hajuri himself said. He said the Prophet ﷺ made mistakes in da'wah, in the means to da'wah, wasail al-da'wah. How you speak about Rasulullah ﷺ like that? He said that.
So now he tries to base his attack upon our da'wah here to relating to Sheikh Yahya, as if we are only connected to Sheikh Yahya al-Hajuri from the Mashayikh. This is a lie. We had telelinks with a number of Mashayikh in Saudi Arabia, in Egypt, in Jordan, a number of Mashayikh. We benefit from them wherever they may be. Just because we disagreed with you in your fake criticism upon Sheikh Yahya al-Hajuri, you labeled us as fanatics of Sheikh Yahya. Or else, where did we become fanatics of Sheikh Yahya al-Hajuri? Clarify to us that. And if anyone's going to be fanatics, is you in reality. We're going to clarify that you are those who are partisans to Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabiri. His first claim that Yahya he said the Prophet made mistakes in da'wah, in the means of da'wah, wasail al-da'wah. Which one is it? Did he say the first one? Did he say the second one? If this is showing something, it's showing you that you're doubtful and what he really said. This is how can you build a criticism upon what you're doubtful of what the person actually said? This is the problem. They don't want to be precise and exact and go back and listen to the tape. They just want to be كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ كَذِبًا أَنْ يُحَدِّثْ بِكُلِّ مَا سَمِعَ. They want to go on the website and take from Abu al-Hasan al-Ma'ribi, he said this about Sheikh Yahya. Okay, let's take that along because it suits his enemy. If it coincides with my enemy, khalas, we become friends in that affair. This is the concept. And it's sufficient for a person to be a liar that he says everything that he hears. So they're going and taking from people that are anonymous and the mysterious character online and putting these attacks. So this is their basis. They find online or find somewhere saying that Sheikh Yahya said this statement. So the actual statement of Sheikh Yahya, which Abdulilah has a problem to quote, is it was far different from what he mentioned, or it wasn't as general. It was more specific and confined to the likes of the story of Ibn Maktoum, to the surah of Abasa wa Tawalla, the story of he frowned and turned away. I'll quote below an old truthful statement from one of their own shuyukh, who Abdulillah and his companions used to take from, before they threw him off the bandwagon, who is Dr. Usam al-Utaybi. Dr. Usam al-Utaybi, he wrote, and I'll quote, he says, لم يقول الشيخ يحيى الحجوري إن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أخطأ في وسائل الدعوة. He goes, فهذا كذب منك عليه. He says that Sheikh Yahya al-Hajuri did not say the messenger erred in the ways of da'wah. He said, this is a lie from you upon him. So, hey, this is a kadhibun minka alayh. It's a lie. This is the truth of the matter. Whether it be from yourself, Abdulilah, or others, this is kadhib. It's a lie from yourself and others who ascribe this to Shaykh Yahya. So he went on to say, he goes that Shaykh Yahya al-Hajuri, he didn't say this, but rather he said, هذا من وسائل الدعوة التي أخطأ فيها فهو نسب إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه وقع منه الخطأ في بعض وسائل الدعوة وهي مما اجتهد فيه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. He says, however, Shaykh Yahya said, this is from the ways of the da'wah that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم erred in. So he ascribed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam an error in some of the ways of the da'wah of which he sallallahu alaihi wasallam made ijtihad in. And then he goes on to say, المنهج العام للرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم في الدعوة معصوم فيه ولكن بعض الحوادث يجتهد فيها النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فيبين له ربه عز وجل الصواب ويعاتبه على ما فعل. فما فعله مع ابن مكتوم رضي الله عنه ليس مما أوحاه الله إليه فلم يبلغه بل مما اجتهد فيه من تقديم دعوة صناديد قريش لما فيه من عظيم المصلحة بإسلامهم فبين الله له الأكمل والأولى. So he says the general methodology of the messenger in da'wah is infallible. However, in some incidents the Prophet ﷺ makes ijtihad therein, whereas his Lord clarifies for him the correct way and disciplines him from what he performed. Therefore, what he performed with Ibn Maktoum, may Allah be pleased with him, is not from what Allah revealed to him, whereas he did not convey it. Rather, it was from what he made ijtihad in, of giving precedence in da'wah to the heads of Quraysh, due to it containing great benefits to Islam. So Allah clarified for him the best way and the best manner in it. So this was confined and restricted to the story of Ibn Maktoum. And was that story in relation to the way of da'wah? As we mentioned before, and for a reason, there's a problem that we've sent it to them in a number of occasions. But these people, their methodology is repeat one lie 1,000 times and it becomes true. This is their methodology in reality. So it comes in Tafsir of Shinqiti, of the completion of Atiyah Salim, I believe volume number 8, page 677, where he speaks about this affair, and he says what has come in the Quran of some of his sallallahu alayhi wasallam acts of ijtihad, and in the way of da'wah, whereas he sallallahu alayhi wasallam ijtihad is unaccepted. Here Imam Shinqiti says, in the way of da'wah, and at the same time his ijtihad is not unaccepted. Therefore, it affects him greatly, similar to the story of Ibn Maktoum. Same example that Shaykh Yahya gave. Same example, whereas he was disciplined for that. And then he mentioned the ayah, Abasa wa tawalla, he frowned and turned away. So, also, Shaykh Yahya, he stated in his Rad on Za'abi, regarding the aforementioned surah, he said, this is from the means of da'wah. The Prophet, may the peace and the blessings of Allah be upon him, turned his attention to some of the chiefs of Quraysh. He, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, gave them admonition and enticed them to accept Islam. So, also you find that scholars of tafsir, past and present, have similar statements. Al-Qattan, may Allah have mercy upon him, stated in his tafsir of Surah Abasa, as for who considered himself independent by his wealth and strength from Allah, then you are giving him attention with enthusiasm. So he may accept Islam while you are showing him importance in giving your da'wah to him, and conveying your da'wah to him. So this is also clarifying that it was with the ways of da'wah. Similar statements from the scholars of our time, Shaykh Muqbil, may Allah have mercy upon him, said that regarding the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ used to say, Allah maghfir li khata'i wa amdi And to the end of the dua, so the Prophet ﷺ, he says, فَهُوَ يُخْطِئ. He makes mistakes, he makes errors. لكن إذا كان خطأه في التبليغ فإن الله لا يقره على ذلك. The Prophet ﷺ says, as found in the Sahih collection, Allahumma gfir li khata'i wa amdi, to the end of the dua. Oh Allah, have forgiveness, show forgiveness to my error, that which is done mistakenly and intentionally. So he used to err, however his error, he says, however his error, if it is in the path of tabligh, he says, in the way he conveys the da'wah, then indeed Allah does not acknowledge him upon that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not acknowledge upon it. He says, if his error, his mistake, is in the tabligh, in the way he conveys his da'wah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not acknowledge him upon it. So this is the speech of Imam al-Wadi'i, rahimahullah. So we allow the brother to move on.
That the first to partake in irja are the Sahaba. The first to fall into the bid'ah of irja are the Sahaba. How you speak about Sahaba like that? And likewise,
here, Abdulilah again misquotes. It's a usual habit for the people. They're known to misquote and to mistranslate. It's sad that the scenario that these people display themselves in front of the people as so reliable, trustworthy individuals in what they say and narrate, and they refer to themselves as a people of narrations, yet they can't even get the narration correct. This is a sad scenario. So here he said, Abdulillah, that Shaykh Yahya said the first to partake in irja are the Sahabas. He says the first to fall into the bid'ah of irja are the Sahabas. Look at it again, how he tangles around with words. What Abdullah is trying to quote is a statement that was uttered by Shaykh Yahya al-Hajuri when he was teaching at Tahawiyah in the year 2000, the month April. The year 2000, month April. Right now we're in the year 2018. And over a decade ago. And while Sheikh Muqbil was alive at that time, and after Sheikh Muqbil died in the year Rabi' al-Akhir of the year 2001, about 5 months later, with the rise of the fitna of the companions of Abu Hasan al-Ma'ribi, with their jealousy and envy, the fact that Sheikh Yahya was given the chair, they come out just 5 months after holding this criticism to bring it out upon Sheikh Yahya after the death of Sheikh Muqbil. And so Sheikh Yahya responds in the year 2001. So 5 months later, Sheikh Yahya came with the audio to respond to the criticism of the followers of Abu Hasan al-Ma'ribi. So these are the original source of these people. The companions of Abu Hasan al-Ma'ribi. They claim to be those who warn and not take from him, yet these points that they're bringing up now are the same points that Abu Hasan al-Ma'ribi brought. Nothing different. And we challenge them to say no otherwise. So these are the people repeating the same stuff that are more than a decade ago, the companions of Abu Hasan al-Ma'ribi, which they had on Shaykh al-Hajuri, and they're bringing it back in a new clothing now in the year 2008. This is sick, that a person brings back points that are found over a decade ago and brings it in a new clothing to display the people as if this has been said yesterday or day before or something time recent. In all case, this doubt concerning this topic in particular has been clarified in a 27-page PDF already in English. Therefore, we don't want to take too much time on this accusation, inshallah. I say the matter relating to Shaykh Yahya, quoting the following statement from Ibn Abil Izz, rahimahullah, in his Sharh of Tahawiyah, where he, rahimahullah, said, in opposition to the Murji'ah, whereas the Murji'ah, their doubt had occurred to some of the earlier ones. Page 252 of the print Darul Ghad al-Jadid. This is what Shaykh Yahya quoted, and he was speaking upon. However, shortly after the year 2001, Shaykh Yahya announced that the quote of Ibn Abil Izz is not the same as the speech of Ibn Taymiyyah in his Majmu' Fatawa. Therefore, Shaykh Yahya announced that previous quote that he shared from Ibn Abil Izz was a mistake from him. And he requested that the brothers avoid delving into this matter. It was a simple matter that was clarified long ago, shortly after the year 2001. And now we're in the year 2018. These are from the characteristics of the Haddadiyah. They will constantly try to label a person with something that he's innocent from. So, and we say, if these people are really truthful in their criticism, they will try to come and say the same about Sheikh Muhammad Aman al-Jami, rahimahullah. Since when he quoted or mentioned statement of Ibn Abil Izz, rahimahullah, he commented by saying, from the Sahaba, rather from the foremost to accept Islam due to their misunderstanding of the verse. So here Muhammad Aman al-Jami says, commenting upon the statements of Ibn Abil Izz. He said more than what Sheikh Yahya said, and they don't come and attack Sheikh Muhammad Aman al-Jami, because the issue to them is let's get revenge against Sheikh Yahya, because he advised us. This is the reality, brothers. Also, Abdulilah, we're going to see that he misquotes again regarding the next affair. And you're going to see, كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ نُبْلًا أَن تُعَدْ مَعَايِبُ. Has been said, it is sufficient as nobility for a person's errors and mistakes to be counted. They went through the tapes of Sheikh Yahya, dug into his books, and they brought a number of affairs that was be able to be enumerated and counted. That's a virtue indeed. كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ نُبْلًا أَن تُعَدَّ مَعَايِبُ. It is sufficient as nobility for a person that when you're on search for a person's errors and mistakes, that you find affairs that are counted on the fingers of the person.
The Sahaba partook in the killing of Uthman radiallahu anhu. A'udhu billah. How you speak about Sahaba like that? So it's not just...
So this affair, which Abdulillah, may Allah guide us in him, he says, likewise, the Sahabas partook in the killing of Uthman. This is what he says. And he goes to, you're going to find that he's going to go on to mention other affairs. I start off by saying this book that he's quoting from, that he's going to mention, the Friday book that Sheikh Yahya wrote on Ahkam al-Jum'ah. It was published, the first printing of it, in the year 2003. Right now we're in the year 2018. It's good to mention these. The tarikh, baynana wa baynahum al-tarikh. We have the dates with us, just to show how far these people are. That if this book was so critical and a major error, why are they speaking it about in recent times? Why are they speaking about it in recent times? It took them a decade to speak about it. Or was it when Sheikh Yahya advised them, that's when it comes out, the so-called major mistake? So as for the topic of what they refer to as the murder of Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, then Sheikh Yahya himself clarified this matter after coming across. He said that after he came across the narration found in some of the books of knowledge with its chain, with its asanid, that the Sahabi Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr took part in the murder of Uthman. And Shaykh at that time, he deemed the narration to be authentic with its chains of narrations due to what was apparent from it, ظاهرها الصحة. What was apparent, that was authentic. So he deemed it to be authentic at that time. However, when Shaykh Yahya came across the statement of Shaykh Islam ibn Taymiyyah that those narrations are weak, he ended up removing them, or moving it, that statement based upon it, from the book, and he clarified openly that he has removed it from his book, and he has recanted from it. This was the matter. It wasn't based upon hawa. It was based upon ijtihad. That الرجل قد يحكم على شيء باجتهاده لما يظهره من الصحة صحة السند. A person may deem something to be authentic for what is apparent for him of ijtihad. It wasn't upon desire. So he deemed a specific narration to be authentic, and after realizing it was unauthentic, he recanted from it like that. It was simple. So this is the affair.
With that particular group, it's not just they spoke about the ulama, they spoke about Rasulullah ﷺ and the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. And they have to make tawbah for that.
This statement, I believe, is very critical, saying that they haven't only spoke about the ulama, but they spoke about Rasulullah. Wallahi, this is a dangerous statement to say. Not only he, but they, yani him and his students, spoke about Rasulullah. They spoke about the Rasulullah. We say to him, either you say we fell into disbelief, or either you have an issue regarding your aqidah. For verily, someone that fell into the affair of speaking against Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have to say that this is disbelief. We have to utter that this is disbelief, this action of his. So we tell and we challenge them to either you clearly come out and be brave and bold and say that we fell into kufr, or stop hiding around these so-called fake statements of saying that these are people that speak about the ulama and as well the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the side. Sick people. To say that we speak about the Messenger of Allah, or we spoke about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then he doesn't stop there and he goes, and the companions. What's the ruling on the one who spoke about the companions? All collectively. So this is a dangerous affair. هذا يدل على انحرافهم في منهج السلف في النقد. That they have deviated from the methodology of the Salaf and how they used to criticize. These people are extreme and have ghulu in their criticism. They go to an extent this far to say that a person spoke about the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
You have a big stick for other people and a small little miswak for yourself. No. You should also hit yourself also with the same big stick that you're using for other people. In his Friday prayer book, Hajuri has a whole page speaking about the Sahaba. A whole page where he says about the mistakes of Sahaba. Of course, he's talking about not to have ta'assub, not to be partisan to anyone. Anyone can make mistakes, but you don't list all mistakes of Sahaba in a whole page.
This next affair is... he quotes again from the book that was printed from the year 2003. Printed in the year 2003, that Shaykh Yahya listed some of the affairs of ijtihad that some of the Sahabas did, which they get either the double, the two rewards if they're correct, or one reward if they err, in matters of ijtihad. So this was brought to refute the doubt that people bring that as whatever Sahaba that you follow, my Sahabas are like the stars, which one you follow, you'll be guided. So Shaykh Yahya was clarifying the meaning of the hadith was incorrect, and he was bringing what the scholars bring of examples that to show that the Sahabas are not what they refer as being infallible. So this is something that is done in some of the books that are written in clarification to show that taqleed is not permissible even for some of the Sahabas. Shawkani did it, a few other scholars did it. So it's not an affair that you say the person has to make tawbah. La, he removed it because he noticed that it was leading to some people to take advantage, the likes of these individuals, and to remove that door, he removed it. Or else he left the original topic found therein. If it was such a mistake, he wouldn't leave the original topic clarifying that the Sahabas are not infallible. So we'll move on, inshallah. Hold on.
In the new print, he took it out, but he didn't say why. Be sincere and say why. Say that I made tawbah. Say that I made a mistake. Why for other people, big stick, and for yourself, small little miswak? No. You have to also be sincere and be truthful and say I made a mistake in these affairs. So with that situation, don't mix with that kind of group. That kind of group, they are innovators. They are partisanship to who? From the size of the innovators, we said they are partisan to this particular person. That is partisan. That is ta'assub. We don't have that.
طيب رمتني بدائها وانسلت. There they go accusing us of their own diseases, and they quickly hide away as if they didn't do anything, as they're innocent, displaying themselves as they're the vanguards of the Sunnah. In reality, they are the people that fell into Hizbiyah. And this is the truth of the matter. Wallahi, if you were to travel different parts of the West, you find that people attested to this. That they fell into Hizbiyah. They fell into what they used to warn from, and this is a reality. From that is what we sent to them as an advice. We said, you were denying that Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabri said that Sayyid Qutb is not an innovator. We sent them. Told them, you say that we said that Sayyid Qutb, that Ubaid al-Jabri says that Sayyid Qutb is not an innovator. So they attacked us and said that's a lie and it's not true. So we sent them the audio. We sent them the audio saying, here, listen to it. Sheikh Ubaid says it. Listen to it. If you don't believe us, then listen to the audio. We sent them the audio. Until now, they haven't recanted from attacking us, for labeling us liars, for mentioning that Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabri at that time said that Sayyid Qutb wasn't an innovator. If this is not fanaticism, then I don't know what fanaticism is. It blinds them to accept the truth. That's like broad daylight. It can't get clearer than that, an audio. So this is from the affairs. You accuse others of your own disease. That they accuse people of following Hizbiyah, and they aren't. From Hizbiyah is restricting returning points to go back to. And I even sent Abu Khadija and others than him, even Abdulilah and others, the article of Sheikh Rabi' that this is a form of Hizbiyah. They're giving reference points of who to return back to. They said Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Ubaid, Sheikh Abdullah Bukhari, and even now they put on articles similar of that meaning. So this is the Hizbiyah that they fell into. And even Abdulilah himself, when we was advised about his statement that saying that Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabri, he did not fall into error, saying that Ka'b bin Malik, if he were to die, لو مات لمات ضالا مضلا. That if he were to die, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, may Allah be pleased with him, he would have died ضالا مضلا, misguided and misguiding others. Ascribing a Sahabi that if he were to die and to be in that state. This statement was raised to Mashayikh, great scholars. They said this is khata, this is a mistake. Abdullah had a hard time admitting that this was a mistake. If this is not fanaticism, Hizbiyya, being attached to personality of scholar, then what is it? You find that even in the article, when he goes, I don't remember what exactly Sheikh Ubaid said, but I think he said the word destroyed or something like that. How can you defend a statement that you don't really recall? These are the people, this is what they're upon. So they are accusing us of what they fell into. Hold on.
That's Hizbiyah, that is partisanship. Now, ulama, they already spoke about these affairs. They clarified these affairs. Sheikh Rabi' Hafidhullah already refuted that. So Uthman did bid'ah, they say. Uthman did bid'ah. On the Friday prayer, added an extra adhan. Sheikh Salih radiallahu anhu, what did Sheikh Salih Fawzan say? Sheikh Salih Fawzan said, the one who said this, his statement is bid'ah. Sahaba, they don't do bid'ah. Sahaba, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about them, radiyallahu anhum wa radu anhu.
طيب, this next doubt has already been responded to on a number of occasions. They repeat it a lot, and I believe this is their strongest doubt that they constantly repeat. The first adhan being labeled as an innovation, bid'ah. This is their strongest one that they usually bring. This is their backbone. Here he's releasing it. That Sheikh Yahya said that the first adhan is an innovation. And they're mentioning it like Sheikh Yahya was the only one to say it. Or if you were to go back, you find a number of scholars, even a narration Ibn Umar that Sheikh Mubil authenticates, saying that the first adhan is an innovation. And the fact that they don't attack Sheikh Mubil, who said it, it shows you how they have double standards in their accusations. And even some of them, they came with a different statement from their speakers as well, who Musa Millington had a debate with. He said that if Sheikh Mubil was alive now, and he did not recant it from his statement saying the first adhan was innovation, he'll be labeled a Haddadi as well. he'll be labeled as an innovator as well. So this is how sick they are and their statements. We already shared the statement of Sheikh Muhammad bin Adam al-Ethiopi relating to the statement of Ibn Umar concerning the first adhan. And I'll quote here the statement of Sheikh Muqbil rahimahullah, where he said that كان ابن عمر رضي الله تعالى عنه يدخل المسجد فيسمع الأذان الأول ويقول هذا مسجد بدعة. Ibn Umar would enter a masjid and he would hear the first adhan, he would say, this is a masjid of innovation. And then he would say, وَكُلُّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ, and every innovation is misguidance. And this is the authentic chain that Sheikh Muqbil, a scholar, a muhaddith of hadith, authenticated. And other scholars of hadith also authenticate this narration. So if they come and say, no, it's a linguistic meaning of innovation, we tell them, why would he say, وَكُلُّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ, and every innovation is misguidance? And why would he leave the masjid? Why would he leave the masjid if it was a linguistic meaning? So they can't get out of this. And even from other scholars, Taqiyuddin al-Hilali mentioning it. Other mashayikh who mentioned it, why Sheikh Yahya singled out with criticism? It shows you their double standards, etc. And as for what they mentioned concerning that, Sheikh Salih Fawzan says this, or Sheikh Muhammad Salih al-Uthaymeen says this, those statements of those great scholars, they knew about Sheikh Muqbil's stance. The statements of Sheikh Muqbil concerning the first adhan was distributed, it was out. If they knew about that which was less of his statements, why would they know about something that was more prominent of the statements of Sheikh Muqbil? And with that, they never attacked Sheikh Muqbil. It was with them unity. So why can't it be the fact that Sheikh Yahya holds his opinion and you hold another, and there's no accusation of being a Haddadi? But they shows you that they are the people with extremism. So tafadhal inshallah.
Allah is pleased with them and them pleased with him. Sahaba, the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا ذُكِرَ أَصْحَابِ فَامْسِكُوا. When my...
So here he's saying, how can we say that the Sahabas have bid'ah or this affair? No one said that. The action of the Sahabi, his action is referred to ijtihad. But that, what was the performance, that affair, we label it as an innovation, especially for those who come after and follow. So the ijtihad of the Sahabi, he is rewarded for his ijtihad. And it's been clarified. When Sheikh Albani, when he labeled certain acts that was perhaps carried out by a Sahabi, he would say it's a bid'ah, but he never said that this Sahabi ibtada'a, he innovated. But he said ijtihad, they did ijtihad. So the same affair with that is the same applies here. Why the double standards? Why do you have to implement and innovate these principles that they come with only for Sheikh Yahya and they don't apply it when Sheikh Albani says this for an act that was originally done by a Sahabi as innovation, and they don't apply it here? So wallahi, this is a lack of justice in the statements. And if they were really those who were truthful, they would attack all who came with statements that were perhaps done originally by a Sahabi, and they labeled that from a scholar that labeled it innovation, and they don't attack those scholars. So it shows you that these people, if they're really truthful, they would attack those scholars. But they know that those scholars really meant that the Sahabi did an act of ijtihad, but that in a performance, that act in itself, it is referred as an innovation, especially to those who come after. So this is the affair. We will move on to the next one, inshallah.
Companions are mentioned, withhold your tongue. So, speaking about Sahaba, this is not from the way of Ahlul Sunnah. Not the way of Ahlul Sunnah. Rather, we make excuses for them. And this AbuFajr, he lied about me as well. He said, oh, you spoke against Sahaba. A'udhu billah min dhalik. I translated the whole book by Sheikh Abdul Muhsin Abbad. And that book is what? A book about defending Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan radiyallahu anhu. Because Abu Sufyan, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, he is a curtain, as Abu Tawbat al-Halabi said, he is a curtain for the rest of the Sahaba. Once you speak about him, it's like you draw that curtain to speak about the rest of the Sahaba. So we defended Muawiyah radiallahu anhu by translating that book by Sheikh Abbad. And we translated books on defending the Sahaba. But he used a statement that I said with regards to Aisha radiallahu anha, where she said, and I never said she spoke about Sahaba, she said, when Janazah was brought into the masjid, and some people said, Hadihi bid'ah, this is innovation, and this is a mistake. And so Aisha replied, this is a narration from Aisha, ما أسرع الناس إلى أن يعيبوا ما لا علم لهم به. How people rush to say something is wrong without knowledge.
طيب, moving on with this next accusation. Here, Abdulillah uses the fact that he translated a book to prove that he cannot fall into another error that was mentioned regarding him. This is from the Qawa'id of Ahl Bid'ah. Oh, I translated this book, so I can't make a mistake in regards to this and that. SubhanAllah. Since when does this become the principles? So, what was mentioned some years ago, when Abdulillah, he mentioned the narration of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. It's a narration concerning when the janazah was brought into the masjid. Janazah of Sa'id bin Malik. So, it comes in the original narration, ما أسرع الناس أن ينسوا أو ينسوا. How quick are the people to forget? And how, and there comes another narration, how quick are the people to speak against? Both in the Sahih, authentic wordings. And here, Abdulillah uses the narration as found in by Al-Bayhaqi and Sunan, that how quick are the people to say it's a bid'ah? How quick are the people to say it's a bid'ah? And then he even mentioned in the audio, and this is what he affirmed on the post of Salafi Talk, that it was a slip of the tongue. I said companions. He admitted that was a slip of the tongue. And then in the same post, he says that Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih Uthaymeen said it was the companions, so are you going to revile him? If it was the slip of the tongue, why are you bringing this now? It shows you the contradiction. So you really do see there's nothing wrong with the statement, and you were really trying to utter the statement. So let's get it clear that it wasn't a slip of the tongue, because primarily if it was a slip of the tongue, you wouldn't be supporting it with the statement of Muhammad Salih Uthaymeen. And here I'm going to read the statement that he brings. He says, additionally, Sheikh Muhammad Salih Uthaymeen rahimahullah said, some of the companions speaking against that was because it hadn't reached them that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did that. So he goes, this is not reviling the companions, as you can see. And he goes, are you going to say that Sheikh Muhammad Salih Uthaymeen rahimahullah is accusing some of the companions radiallahu anhu also? And now let's go back to see what statement is that concerning. So when you go back to the Sharh of Uthaymeen of Sharh Sahih Muslim, he's explaining the wordings found in Sahih. He's explaining the wordings that are found in Sahih. And Abdulillah is trying to deceive the audience that it's concerning the wording that he brought of bid'ah. So here, Muhammad Salih Uthaymeen says, هذه الأحاديث فيها فوائد. هذه الأحاديث, the hadith that he mentioned of Sahih, in Sahih Muslim. And he goes, وإنكار بعض الصحابة ذلك, some of the Sahabas. As for the wording that is found in Sunan Al-Bayhaqi himself says, وَلَيْسَ فِي الْخَبَرِ أَنَّ بَعْضَ الصَّحَابَ أَنْكَرَ ذَلك. He says, وَلَيْسَ فِي الْخَبَرَ أَنَّ بَعْضُ الصَّحَابَ أَنْكَرَ ذَلِكَ. Because firstly, this narration in particular, there's a big dispute regarding its authenticity. There's a dispute regarding its authenticity. And I already clarified that to Abdulilah long ago. So Imam Bayhaqi says there's nothing in this report that the Sahabas criticized that. And he says, وَحِينَ تُوَفِّيَ سَعْد. And when Sa'd ibn Malik, whose janazah is for, passed away, كَانَ قَدْ ذَهَبَ أَكْثَرُ الصَّحَابَةِ. Majority of the Sahabas already passed away. So this is the affair, that he's bringing the speech of Muhammad Salih al-Uthaymeen for other than its place. And this is a form of talbis. And even Bayhaqi clarified this is not, because when the wording is relating to bid'ah, it's different. To say that the Sahabas rushed and haste to accuse one another with falling to bid'ah, that's a different story now. So this is what was the criticism of the affair.
So he used that statement. He said, look, he's saying that Sahaba did bid'ah, or he started speaking about Sahaba. First of all, be truthful. Allah says, Kunu ma'as sadiqeen. Be with the truthful ones. Don't lie about people. And his reputation that he had, alhamdulillah, the brothers who put a whole table, where they clarified all of his lies, one after the other. Be truthful.
Here he says where it was clarified all of the lies. And in reality, by time, the truth even became more clear and clear. And you realize that by his statement, that he said that we left the Maj closed down, or we had to leave the Maj as a punishment because we spoke about Sheikh Ubayd al-Jabri. And this is from what I mentioned on my refutation. This is from the likes of these meetings that I was mentioning on my refutation. So it just came out clear. Your deep hate and your evil statements from the time of the war until now is coming out. So this is the truth of the matter. So tafadhal.
And subhanallah, last summer I received an email out of the blue. And guess who's from? It's from AbuFajr. I'm sorry, Akhi, I made a mistake. No. This is not how it goes. You don't.
طيب, here we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow this person to see his oppression and to return upon it. Wallahi, this is harmful for him. For you to misquote an email that was last summer and just to convey it in front of the audience like that and to change the whole wording. So I'm going to read the exact wording of the email and the purpose behind it, and then compare it to what he said, so the people can judge upon that, inshallah. So the people could judge upon that. It's very important that we bring out the facts and words as it is. So I believe was it June 23rd, the year 2017, I sent an email. I said, Assalamu alaikum. As we are in these blessed nights, we're turning to Allah. It was the last 10 nights of Ramadan. I said it was a general email that was not only sent to Abdullah, sent to others. As we are in these blessed nights, we're turning to Allah. I wanted to mention to you that if, pay attention to the word, that if I have wronged you in any way, then I ask you to pardon me. For verily oppression is darkness, Yawm al-Qiyamah. And I said also, and whatever you said not true about me, then I pardon you for. And I said, when whatever you said not true about me, then I pardon you for. Then I say, however, what we differ between ourselves of clear differences, Ya Abdulillah, then I continue to pursue what I see to be correct in those matters. Then I continue to see what I see. I continue to pursue what I see to be correct in those matters. And I call you to that. Pay attention to the wordings, brothers. Say, and I call you to that. And I ask Allah to guide us all to the truth. I didn't send this message to you, Ya Abdulillah, only. So don't feel special. I sent it as a general message to let you know what occurs of refutation is not intended to oppress one another, but to clarify the truth, that which we believe in. This is the reality in the matter. So look what he said. He said that I said in the email, sorry brother, I made a mistake. This is the oppression. وَالظُّلْمُ ظُلُمَاتِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. And then he goes on to say, we're going to listen inshallah.
Apologize to me secretly. You apologize to the whole dunya for the evil that you created and for the lies that you mentioned. You have to apologize to the ulama, to the scholars that you have refuted and you reviled and you've spoken ill of. You have to apologize to Sheikh Rabi'. Go to Sheikh Rabi' and apologize to Sheikh Rabi' Hafidhullah for having spread stuff about him being a rotten flower. You have to apologize to Sheikh Rabi'. And you have to apologize to Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabri and other scholars. Those who you have reviled and you've spoken ill of. You have to.
Tayyib here, he says, go and apologize to Sheikh Rabi' for saying that he's a rotten flower. Firstly, that is a mistranslation to the original word used. Again, it's a common thing that they do. Secondly, there's no apology for what I stand and many other students of knowledge stand upon in following a group of the mashayikh who said Sheikh Rabi' has been greatly influenced by some of the evil companions around him, like Arafat, and even those before, like Hani bin Buraik. No apology for that, since that is a reality. Why would we apologize about it? It's the truth.
Apologize to Sheikh Abdul Bukhari and others for what you have said. Don't write me no secret email. Don't write me no secret email. Make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala openly, just like you harmed openly. And you.
Same thing with Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabri. Even those in your ranks have begun to criticize Sheikh Ubaid for his mistakes and his errors. People have written books, even someone who have compiled certain munaqashat, discussing and advising Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabri regarding some of his errors and mistakes. So if I stand upon that about those who Mashayikh have written and clarified, I don't need to apologize. It is something I can meet Allah knowing that he fell into error and he has to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala concerning these errors. That's between him and Allah. But as for me, I stand upon no apology for that. That's a reality.
Lied openly. So be careful from these groups. These groups, they're not safe to be with. We had them in England, and subhanAllah, where are they now? We're in it long term. We're in this da'wah long term.
Wow, look at the statement, brothers. He says, we had these groups in London, and where are they now? SubhanAllah, if he's referring to some of the brothers, for example, in Masjid Imam Muqbil, or Masjid Uthman, or the brothers that in different areas that are doing da'wah in Birmingham, we asked them, say, where were you when Sheikh Salih Suhaimi, Sheikh Ali Tuwajir was just at Masjid Imam Muqbil, and the brothers were doing a program? That's what they are doing. That's their locality. If you need the address, we can send it to you. We can send you the audios. We can inform you. As well, what we're doing here, we just recently had a conference. Alhamdulillah, a great amount of attendance from women and children. The senior attend, from those coming from different places benefited from it. This is our locality. This is what we're benefiting. Just because we don't boast about it doesn't mean that we're not doing anything. Hold on.
We're in it, inshaAllah. May Allah subhanahu give us tawfiq and thabat upon sunnah, upon tawheed and sunnah, that we die upon this blessed path. We're on it, inshaAllah, until we die. This is not a hizb, a party or group or club that you just join every Friday or every...
See, this is the problem with these individuals. They assume because they've been in the da'wah for so long, that gives them confidence that they are better and superior than others. This is dangerous. We always have to remember that the truth is older than all of us. And that someone can come to you that was maybe perhaps in the da'wah for a short period of time, he can come to you with the truth and tell you that you have deviated from it. So don't look down at people because you've been for the da'wah for long. This is what they're attached to. They'll boast and say, I've been in the da'wah for a decade. I've been in the da'wah before you were born. I've been in the da'wah. The likes of the words of Fir'aun before when he said, أَلَمْ نُرَبِّكَ فِينَا وَلِيدًا. Did we not just raise you when you were born? These are the words. These are the statements that they hold on to. And it's a scary matter, indeed.
Every now and then. This is the deen of Allah. This is not a joke. And Allah is our helper. And He is the one who gives us victory. نِعْمَ الْمَوْلَى وَنِعْمَ النَّصِيرُ. And those who oppress, Allah لَا يُحِبُّ الظَّالِمِينَ. Allah doesn't like those who oppress. And what is the
Okay, after all of this oppression, we say, Kinam, Inna Allah la yuhibbu dhalimin. Allah does not love the oppressors. It goes both ways. These ayats, they go both ways. It's an advice for both of us. That we fear Allah, we don't oppress. Ittaqullah fi anfusikum. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, concern yourself. So this matter is very important.
reality of these Hajuris now? Where is it? Where's the reality of them? Scattered, dispersed. The situation is furuta. And Allah mentioned that in the Quran. وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ. Be patient with those who call upon their Lord morning and evening. Be patient with them, the ulama, Ahl Sunnah, Ahl Ilm. Be patient with the best of the people.
Here he goes on now to clarify, saying that we are scattered, we have dispersed. Yes, yani, do you want us to just remain with one another? We want to. انتشرنا دعوة معلمين. Yani, we've went different parts teaching the people. That is one of the agendas of students of knowledge. That he learns and he travels through where he can go from where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes easy for him, from the spacious of his earth. He goes and he teaches the people. Du'atan wa mu'allimin. Alhamdulillah, wherever you can go these days, you find that the brothers are found teaching, educating the people. And this is one of the which stands out from our da'wah, from yours. That we're really teaching, completing books with the people. We're completing books. We're establishing masajid. We are going to different places and different cities for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. We ask Allah tabarak wa ta'ala to grant us ikhlas to teach and educate the people. So yes, the brothers, they haven't just sat under one roof. One of their goals of da'wah is to scatter about and to give da'wah.
the أهل الأثر ولا تعد عينك عنهم تريد زينة الحياة الدنيا ولا تطع من أغفلنا قلبه عن ذكرنا واتبع هواه وكان أمره فرطا. That is their case. Their affairs are.
طيب, one more thing, because he always keeps repeating Ahl al-Athar, and he's referring it to his scholars, those three mashayikh, yani Sheikh Ubaid, Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Abdullah Bukhari, that those are the main Ahl al-Athar to him. So I wanted to mention, because he said that Sheikh Rabi' has refuted the statements of Sheikh Yahya. So I want to mention that Sheikh Rabi' has only came out with only 2 public releases on Sheikh Yahya. One with an audio that we well know of, that they sent, which just has him saying that he is one who divided the Salafis, or he's most harmful to Da'wat Salafiyah, which doesn't have anything of what Abdulilah is mentioning. And also the book that he wrote about Sheikh Yahya concerning science of hadith. Sahih, it's concerning science of hadith in reality. It's concerning topics that Sheikh Yahya declared this hadith to be weak, and he declared this hadith to be da'if. So Sheikh Rabi' opposes concerning topics of science of hadith. And even though there is certain accusations, I'm going to mention what maybe Abdulillah is referring to. Here Abdulillah perhaps is referring to when he said that Sheikh Rabi' refuted. Sheikh Rabi', he mentions that Sheikh Yahya, this is from the Sheikh Yahya's al-Ijaba, response to Sheikh Rabi', printed by Dar al-Kunuz. They're both books are sold in Saudi Arabia. Page 24, he quotes on Sheikh Rabi' saying, أنه في كتاب هذا لا يترجم للصحابة بل ولا يترضى عنهم. And he says, Sheikh Rabi' based his criticism that Sheikh Yahya takes away from the rights of the Sahabas, and that he doesn't honor them. And he says he uses from that he doesn't say radiyallahu anhum at times in the books, and he didn't give them biographies. So we ask you, Ya Abdulilah, do you refer to this? Who's going to accept this? That person, if he didn't say radiyallahu anhu on a Sahaba in certain places of a book, or he missed it out, or perhaps the print didn't come and added it, that shows that he has hatred or he reviles the Sahabas. Or that he didn't give biographies for the Sahabas. That shows you that he has hatred for the Sahabas. No one's going to accept this. So this criticism, the people did not accept it from Sheikh Rabi'. He's not infallible. So if you are basing that Sheikh Rabi' refuted, this is not. We say these statements that you've brought of accusations are the accusations of Abul Hasan al-Ma'ribi. Get your facts straight. That these are from the website of Abul Hasan al-Ma'ribi, Wafali Harbi, and those who came after from the extremists.
All over the place. And that is what you find now. Some of them, they were so shadid upon themselves. Some of them said, oh, don't go on the bus because it's free, you're mixing with women. Don't go on the bus. First, so much extremism they used to have. Don't go on the bus because you...
Tayyib. Here now, he tries to mix between a true statement, between that which is not from it. A true statement was a person, he mentioned the words of Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen, al-Fatawa al-Arkan al-Islamiyya. Is the book Fatawa al-Arkan al-Islamiyya, where Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen mentioned on page 119. He said it is compulsory upon the person to keep far from touching the women when he goes on the bus. He says, I mean from crowding them, whereas his body becomes connected to her body. And he says, even if that were to occur behind a screen, for indeed this calls to fitna. The human being is not saved from everything. He may see himself that he's cautious of this matter, and then he will not get affected, but however the shaitan flows in the bloodstream of the son of Adam. So perhaps a slight movement from him may corrupt him. So if it is a must for the person to do so, when boarding the free mixing bus, that he strives not to become affected, then the Sheikh said it's upon him to do so. He says it's a must for a person to board the bus while him striving not to become affected. Then I hope there's no harm in it. However, my opinion is that it's not possible to be a must for him to do so, due to it being possible for him to seek a place where he'll not be connected to a woman, even if he has to stand throughout the ride. And by this he frees himself from this affair which necessitates fitna, trial, and is upon the person to fear Allah according to his capability, and not to see these affairs to be minor. Likewise, as we hope from those who are in charge of these means of transportation, whether it be by any means of transportation, to make a place specifically for women, whereas they are not connected to the men. So this was being referred to as that a person, when he goes on these public transportation buses, wherever they are, he tries to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not to get so close to the woman, even if he has to go in the front or the certain areas on the bus where there is not too crowded with women. And then he mentions that if there's no other means, then the Sheikh says, I see no harm in that. So if a person, he has only this means and is overcrowded with women, then there's no harm in that. So this is what was being referred to as. This is what Abdulilah is trying to confuse the listeners from understanding that it was a real matter that a person was ascribing a fatwa to Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen. Not someone saying that it's not allowed for a person to board a bus, of what we find now.
Extreme. This is mixing with women. Don't do this, don't do that. They couldn't keep it going. Look at the affair now. One now has got a shisha shop, with a shisha. Another one is got his in a wedding dancing, sallallahu salama, with mixing with the women and dancing with no chest, with open chest, sallallahu salama. Yeah. It was just a game, wasn't it?
So this is another disgusting technique by Abdulilah. Wallahi, yani, when we listen to this, it burns the soul to hear that a person would mention the likes of these affairs. It's so desperate now, they have reached a level of desperation. Instead of sticking to rudud ilmiya, points that are knowledge-based and refutation, they come and they start saying, someone that was once with you, he stopped practicing. This is pathetic. This is what we never heard this before in refutations. You can't be on the truth because once, if this guy, he left and he became not practicing, or he became weak in his iman. This is unheard of. We haven't heard this from before, from the turuq al-rudud al-ilmiya, the knowledge-based refutations. But in reality, if we were to go and take that battle with them, they would know that those amongst them who used to be of their followers are far greater in numbers that have stopped practicing and became weak in iman. And even the things if we were to mention, public, it would be sad and indecent to mention such affairs. Even some of them have mentioned online certain things what their own followers do. They try to conceal it. So judge, but use the same measuring stick for your affair. Use the same standard that you're looking at, that this affair, a person may become weak in iman for other reasons. It doesn't mean that you're on the truth if a person becomes on the weak who's opposing you. It is the mi'yar, is al-kitab wa-sunnah ala fahm salaf salih. This is the standard, the criterion that we're on. My opposing opposition became weak in iman, so that means I'm on the truth. It's pathetic. This is a new way, that is a way that a person who is giving last kicks, raqdatul mustamit. They know they're on the verge, people are losing interest in them, they're on the verge of just fading away. Many of their followers have left them, some people are unfollowing them. It is sad. And now they're giving these last kicks. Someone that used to be with you is doing this and that. And even in reality, if you look and follow maybe that person who they probably were speaking about, you come to realize that he was someone that was not really, who took the same stance. So don't try to add these affairs into the affairs of refutation.
For you, it's only a game. And Allah said, وَمَا هُوَ بِالْهَزْلِ, and it is not a game. For us, it's not a game. This is deen. This is deen. And we'll meet you Yawm al-Qiyamah for the rest of the affairs to be solved, inshallah. So don't write me no email. Don't write me no email. Yawm al-Qiyamah we will meet, inshallah. I'm waiting. فَانْتَظِرُوا إِنِّي مَعَكُمْ مُنْتَظِرُونَ. So wait. We are also waiting. And Allah says, فَتَرَبَّصُوا حَتَّى يَأْتِيَ اللَّهُ بِأَمْرِهِ. So wait until Allah brings His command. So we're waiting for you Yawm al-Qiyamah, inshallah. Bismillah.
Here, he repeats the affair of the email. In reality, I have a number of emails from him. So he's speaking, don't write me email. You're from the people that contacted me, I believe, concerning what we were speaking about. So don't deceive the audience. Speak the truth, that you're from the people that contacted me regarding these affairs. I have a number of your emails saved. I can bring it out that you are from the people that contacted me. So it was a response with words to show you that we're not here to refute each other as a way to oppress one another, but to clarify the truth. That was the purpose of the email. Don't deceive the people. As well, the affair of oppression is clear, what we've mentioned here, that you are in the wrong of many of your statements, and I have clarified it, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yansurni ala man bagha alayya, to aid me upon those who have transgressed me, and inshallah, وَعِنْدَ اللَّهِ تَجْتَمِعُ الْخُصُومُ وَإِلَى الدَّيَّانِ يَوْمَ الدِّينِ نَمْضِي وَعِنْدَ اللَّهِ تَجْتَمِعُ الْخُصُومُ. And to Allah we shall meet for our disputes, and those in disputes in reality will come to meet. So we'll meet in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we ask Allah tabarak wa ta'ala to bring clear those who are truthful from those who are in a state of falsehood. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.